There are some games that aren't available to play on MacBook. Even if most users agree that it is one of the best ways to play high-end games, still gamers with a MacBook have a lot of options open to them, and some of the best games in the world are available in this format. Let's check out some of the best games to play if you own a MacBook. Divinity: Original Sin 2. This role-playing game has been called one of the best games of all time by lots of people, and it will not disappoint you if you're really into roleplay games. The story of the game is really great and really strong. Where many games just have it as a side element in the game, the story is important, and it is actually really moving too, while still managing to be really funny at the same time. I would already recommend this game for the story alone, but then it is also really beautiful to play, and it has great control. It has an emphasis on choice, and your choices do actually influence the gameplay. It affects everything from your character even down to the little details like the soundtrack. That means you can play it over and over again, and it won't be the same or become boring. Always a bonus in one of your favorite games. There are loads of different modes. For example, if you love the pen and paper version of Dungeons & Dragons, then the Grandmaster mode is the one that you really want to play in. It is loads of fun and really captures the essence of D&D. It is really one of the best games to be around on Mac. Undertale. Going from some of the best graphics on the MacBook to some of the worst, Undertale is, plainly put, pretty darn ugly. It has none of the bells and whistles that many of the new games have. It seems that the developers of the game decided that all of their focus should be on creating a really addictive game that is really fun to play, but that you won't be opening just to see the graphics. In the game, you are a human that is trying to make your way out of the underworld, where all the monsters were hidden away after a war with humans. There are loads of puzzles, and it focuses more on that than on fighting. There are loads of great characters that make this game special, and it is really unique to play. For example, if you don't like a fighting game, then you can even choose to try and talk your way out of situations instead of fighting the monsters. That is why this is a game that is seriously popular despite its lack of graphics. You won't get bored, and the old school look is strangely soothing. The added bonus is this is not a game that is going to take up loads of space on your MacBook. It has a unique blend of humor, lore, and gameplay that makes it a fit for any gamer looking for something different. Life is Strange. This game starts out like a conventional adventure game, but it takes a bunch of wild turns and twists. The graphics are stunning. You are playing the role of Max Caulfield, a teen girl, and you start out with a simple bad day at school. When you duck out of class and wander around the school, you get to explore the objects and gather information along the way. But that is when things take a turn. Max then witnesses the murder of her best friend Chloe, but all is not lost when you realize that you aren't just a teen, but one with superpowers. This game explores the butterfly effect in great detail and also beautifully handles issues you routinely face as an adolescent while still being really fun to play. Things don't always work out, and it is possible to make things worse, but that is what makes this game fun. You have the choice, and you need to figure out when to make that choice and when to let things go. It's pretty obvious why this game is still as popular. The only real issue with it is the game controls. If you use a keyboard and mouse setup, it can feel a bit hard to control, so it is more fun with a game controller. You can check it out and decide for yourself. The first 5 episodes is free to download through Steam. Life is Strange: Before the Storm. You can't really mention Life is Strange without mentioning its sequel, since most fans of the original still love the second game just as much. This one focuses more on Chloe and introduces a new character called Rachel. It has a lot of elements that made the first game such a big hit, but it adds elements that make it fun to play even if you did already finish the first one. This game is divided into 3 episodes, and the deluxe edition also includes a 4th one that acts as a prelude to the original game. It is an awesome game in its own right, and in my opinion, it has a few extras that might make it even a little bit better than the first game. However, this is a game with a lot of particular system requirements, so before you get it, make sure that it's compatible with your Mac models, since it doesn't always work with most recent Macs. Have any of you played any of the games we have mentioned? Did you enjoy them? Let us know your thoughts in the comments below. There are still some awesome game recommendations for MacBook coming your way, so stick around. Tomb Raider 2013. There is probably no gamer in the world that has not heard the name Lara Croft. She is pretty iconic when it comes to the gaming world, so it was great to get a version that was compatible with MacBook. I know that the newer Rise of the Tomb Raider has better gameplay and tombs to explore, but I still enjoyed this version better. It has a better storyline with bigger emotional highs and lows, and it has an incredible character development for a game. It is the origin story of Lara Croft, as she goes from a scholar who is very much an ordinary, humble human and becomes the powerful, agile, and strong-willed fighter and explorer that we all know today. It has stunning locations to play in and incredible action sequences that are really fun to explore, and it has loads of different elements of different genres of games. It is obviously an adventure game, but it is also an action game. It has moments that it feels like an exciting version of a survival game, and it is just all around fun to play. It will keep you hooked throughout the hours of gameplay that you get with this game. It has to be one of the best reboots of any game ever, and even if you've never played a Tomb Raider, it is for sure one that could be great to try out. StarCraft 2: Wings of Liberty. There is by no means a traditional space game. It is pretty unique in the approach it takes to space exploration and space travel, but it is still one of the best and most popular real-time strategy games, not only on MacBook, but really on any system. There are loads of really memorable and fun characters, and the factions are what really make the game everything it is. There are lots of differences between them, so it doesn't feel like the exact same characters just being repeated with slight changes. Then there are also a lot of different priorities that the gamer needs to juggle, and it helps to keep the game captivating. shocking. And besides all that, the StarCraft game is now free to play, and the multiplayer component is free too. If you do get addicted, as you probably will, then you can buy the incredible expansions, but to try it out will cost you nothing. And even if you never want to buy any extra part of the game, then the campaign element will keep you entertained for hours. Batman Arkham City. This is the game that brings your love of the DC universe and combines it with your love of games. And in my opinion, it is still one of the best renditions of Batman ever told. And yes, I'm talking about all versions, in print, games, and even in film. Plus, even if you don't really care about Batman in general, then this is still a really fun game to play. The graphics have a bit of a nostalgic comic book vibe, and the storytelling is superb. This game starts out when the powers that be have completely given up on ever getting Gotham City safe, and they have instead turned a big part of the city into a high-security prison, meaning that besides the issues that Gotham already had, some really nasty villains are being shipped into the city. Not great for the city, but awesome if you've always wanted to try your hand at being the Dark Knight. It is an incredible action-filled adventure game that will see you grappling the roofs of Gotham for hours at a time. Did we miss any of your favorite MacBook games? Share your favorite with us in the comments section. Thanks for watching!